Yay Media Group.
What's up, y'all?
Welcome to This Is Life, and my name is Heather.
And I am Cornelius. So we, if you didn't get a chance to listen last week, well, I would encourage you to go back and listen to the last 3 weeks. And that kind of gives you an idea of the progressional overload that we get to this place where we're at right now. But nonetheless, we had a situation that happened with our oldest. Our kids are getting older. We have 3 kids, for those of you who are tuning in who may not know who we are. That's completely fine. We've been married 15 years. We have 3 kids. Our oldest son is 12. Our daughter is 9, and our youngest son, he is 6. Our daughter's about to be 10, and our youngest son is about to be 7. So we're getting to the teenage years with our older one, and our daughter she's preteen, and it's like, I can
mad
only
at me before
imagine
we left here
what is
I
going
didn't
to
do
be.
her hair.
We had a situation that came up with our oldest son that I feel like we want to talk about, and I feel like will further allow for us to piggyback on the conversation we had last week that was about boys, men, men ideology, how we think, stuff like that, and then the interaction between moms and ultimately how that works. So you want to kind of tell people what happened?
So the other day, it was maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, we're sitting there, and Logan and Roman like to play all day long. The kids love to do like dodgeball in the house. So they have these balls and they're hitting it. So I guess they decided they were done doing dodgeball, done playing. And then Roman wanted to get one last lick on Logan and took like a tennis ball and whipped it, but it hit his eye. So his eye was watering. He was in a ton of pain. He was mad. Like whenever Logan gets upset, he cries. Like when he gets really angry, he cries. Like that's how he starts to process like what he's going through. And he rarely cries, but he was mad. And I could tell he was mad. So I was like, sit down, breathe, like try to calm down. He was like, he hit me in the face. I'm going to go hit him back. I was like, okay, sweetheart. Like we're not going to hit him back today. He was like, well, what are you going to do? How are you going to discipline him? I was like, well, I'm going to make him right. And I'm going to have him sit down here. I'm going to take away his phone and just tell him to apologize to you. And for Logan, that wasn't good enough. Like, I guess he wanted me to whoop him, but I've never whooped any of my kids, so I'm not going to hit him. So I don't know what Logan expected me to do, but he's like, no, I want to hit him in the face. I was like, well, you're 12 and he's 6 and you have a lot of force and you're strong. And matter of fact, you're bigger than me. So you're not going to throw a ball at our baby's face. Absolutely not. I said, you just need to go breathe, stay away from Roman. And they rarely fight. You have to say, right? This might be their first real fight. All I hear is Logan going upstairs. This boy done got 3 balls and was whipped them at Roman while he was in the room with Taylor. Hit him with 3 balls. And I was like, and I heard Roman scream. And I was like, did you just blatantly ignore what I told you to do? I told you I have a plan for my discipline, but it wasn't good enough for you. You totally ignored me. Went upstairs and did exactly what I told you not to do. He has never done anything like that in his little life. Like he's never been openly rebellious towards me in that way. And I was shocked. So I went upstairs and I was heated. First I checked on Roman, made sure he was okay. He's like, he hit me with a bunch of balls. I hit him with 1. And I was like, okay, you were wrong. You need to apologize to your brother. But brother was wrong for hitting you back. And so I went in and you were in the bath.
I was taking a bath.
And I was like
in the bath, relaxing in an Epsom salt bath after a very grueling leg day.
And I walked up and I was like, oh, I'm so annoyed. And whenever I get mad, like you're immediately like, how can I solve this? Right?
Like who did it? What is it? Who I got to kill? Let's make it happen.
He's like, what happened? And I was like, Logan. I told him the whole story. I said, Logan completely ignored me and went and hit his brother after I told him not to. He looked at me with a straight face. He said, go get him.
I did. Go get it.
And so I'm like, I went into Logan's room and I was like, Logan, come here. And so I walked in the bathroom and I was standing like this, just watching. I was standing and I was like, and you could go ahead and jump in.
You could tell him.
So pretty much he was like, why did you openly disobey mom when she told you not to do something? And he's like, I don't know. And he's just like, well, you hit me. And I mean, he's trying to explain himself. And you went off.
I did.
He went off on him. And there was 3 parts of going off. So he went off in the bathroom, and then after he got out of the bath, he went in the room, and this is the part I really heard. He was like, "Yo, mama does everything for you. She's so nice to you. She never yells at you. She takes care of you." He's like, 90% of the stuff she does, I would never do that. He's like, you would have a different life if your mommy wasn't here.
Completely different.
He's like, all these trips you go on, how you fly first class. He's like, that's your mama. He's like, if anything, you need to disrespect me and not her. Come on, disrespect me.
I dared him. I was like, please do it to me. Do it to me. I was like, disobey me. You've never done that to me, but you do it to your mama. But that was the point that I was seeking to make with him. Mm-hmm. And then I also had to get you to understand. Mm-hmm. Like, it's true. 90% of everything Logan does is a lot that has to do with you.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
I baby our kids.
If it was, I went to public school. I was just fine. Mm-mm. Our kids would be in public school. Mm-mm. They would be in public school.
No.
I went to public school. You'll grow up.
No.
Grow up. Like, Instacart. Uber Eats.
They have all the apps.
And the app on his phone.
They order whatever they want.
Whenever he wants.
They get allowance. They get money. They get everything.
But you know what? That's the blessing. That is the blessing of a 2-parent household where you can have something that is different and you can be able to receive what it needs. And I understand everybody doesn't have that. I get that. I'm not saying that as a place of shame or anything else. I'm just saying that is the blessing of having that. Nevertheless, I was getting our son to understand that, bro, you have it extremely made. And the whole point I was seeking to make with him was that the foundation of your disrespect comes at the fact that she is your mother and she is a woman.
Like, that was crazy. And I think it's because I'm so nice to him. Like,
it is because you are a mother and you are a woman.
And I'm a nurturer.
You are naturally nurturing.
But not all women are.
But not because they have been hardened against it. Mm-hmm. When you grow up in an environment that hardens you, especially as a little girl,
yeah,
you grow up with a hardened mentality. So you are not nurturing. You are emotionally disconnected. Your desire is not to comfort. Your desire is to harden everybody else. So you have some moms who are not nurturing because they didn't. You grew up with Linda. Linda was a freaking. I mean, that's like Mother Teresa.
She's still very nurturing.
7.0. Yeah, that's just who she is.
I just didn't get spanked growing up.
You grew up in a very nurturing household, 100%. But it was also a 2-parent household. You had your dad who was like he was more the disciplinarian.
And I did not like that at all.
You didn't like that.
Fool with him. Yeah.
But that in turn has different. Now, you didn't like it. You didn't fool with him. But let me ask you a question. Did you respect him?
Yeah. I respect him, but I didn't. I mean, mind you, I was a teenager. You hate everybody. I'm sure now I would have appreciated him more.
But there's a certain level of respect that comes naturally to a man that does not naturally come to a woman. Because you are a nurturer. That's what you do. You come in with Logan, like your biggest gripe with him is you won't cuddle with me anymore.
I know. I miss my little snuggle bear.
See, you just naturally want to just nurture him. And then every time, when something happens, like, oh my God, I just got to protect him. And oh my God, what is he doing right now? And oh my God.
I sent him a text yesterday. I was like, please be careful at your friend's house. I was like, we don't need any issues on our Asia trip.
So yeah, it's like, you think it's like, oh my God, I want to be that. Oh my God, I want to do that. Oh my God, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And like for me, my thing is let him go.
Oh my God.
Let him fly.
No, we did let him fly. Now he got 27 stitches.
But you know what? But he learned from it.
Yeah, he did.
He learns from it. And that's the difference that comes in here is that and I think the one thing we kept saying over and over again is we feel so bad for single moms.
Oh my gosh. Period. And single dads.
And single dads. Single parents, like we feel so horrible for single parents because in so many ways, you have to play both parts, and in a lot of ways, that's impossible.
It's hard to be nurturer when you're traveling, and this is such a horrible example, but when you're in like your Wyoming or Montana trips for the week, and I really can't talk to you, you don't have great service, you're busy, and I'm with the kids, I'm firmer with them. I am, and I'm like, and there'll be times I have to turn up with them, and I realize like this is how some women, single moms, have to do all the time. Because they won't respect you. Like I'll tell them to do something and they openly won't do it. Thankfully, when you're gone, Logan and Taylor will help me parent. And they'd be like, Roman, you better listen to mom, you know? But for the most part, like, I have to get tougher with them when you're gone.
Right.
Because I can't be as nurturing. And Roman looks at me so confused because he's so used to me, you know?
He doesn't get it.
But then when he goes to school, he struggled with his first couple teachers because they weren't nurturing. They were harder on him. And he didn't like that. He told me he thinks that all girls should be nice and nobody should ever tell him what to do. No girl should tell him what to do because he's used to mommy just giving him whatever. You know what I mean?
Now imagine, okay, this is a good point to make. Going back to last week's episode with Riley. And I'm not saying Riley's friends, guys are like this, but I am saying, just taking this example, for instance. So let's just take Roman. Roman has a mom who is super nurturing. Roman now has an idea that no woman should ever be mean to him, should ever talk down to him, should ever do anything else. That no woman should ever disrespect him in any type of way because she is just a woman and she should just be nice. So now, let's just say I wasn't here in the picture. You continue to raise Roman in that way. Every time a teacher said something to Roman, you went to the school and you defended Roman.
That would be a
disaster. That is your fault. My Roman did not do that, and Roman picked up on that every single time. That is not my son. Absolutely not. My son does not act that way. My son does not talk that way. I know that my son did not do that. So everything that Roman did, that people said that Roman did, you constantly went on his defense and said, that is not my son. That is not my kid. It did not happen. Roman never fully develops in his masculinity because he has had a mom who has basically henpecked him to death.
Yeah.
So now he grows up with no confidence. He grows up with no sense of vision. He grows up with no sense of courage because all he believes is like women don't do, women's whole job is just to make sure I'm okay. Just to be nice to me.
That's crazy.
So he gets into a relationship and he doesn't have the confidence to go and make more money. He's already insecure because he's looking around at other men who are doing all of these things that he doesn't have the courage to do because he's never been put in an environment that says like, bro, you need to be more assertive. He doesn't need to be assertive because he grew up his entire life having mom come in to save the day.
Yeah.
And now he wants to be in a relationship
with a girl. But how long
that
is it
comes
healthy to save the day with Roman? I mean, he's 6. So like how long?
Nurturing. So here's what I tell. The season of nurturing, it changes.
Yeah, after
but most of it ends at that 7-8 mark.
I know. I feel like it's starting to with Roman.
Because now the who comes to the picture then is dad.
Oh yeah.
Now
it's like you know what to expect now.
I want to be like dad.
Now
I want to be strong like dad. I want to do this like dad. Oh my goodness, look at that. So now, here's the most heartbreaking part about this. Imagine a little boy getting to that stage and looking ahead at a face that isn't there.
That's so hard. That's tough, man.
So now I don't see dad's face. I can't be like dad. Grandpa is dead. I want to be like my uncles, but they live too far away. So now all I have are just the people who I see on YouTube that I watch all the time. The rappers are the music people that I listen to all the time. Or maybe I can be like my coaches and my teachers. But then my coaches and my teachers are all mean to me, so I don't want to be like them. Or maybe I can be like my friends. Or maybe I can join a gang. It's like now he's looking ahead at an example like for him to follow because he doesn't have it. And that's something that, this little boy is going to yearn for. But that your season of nurturing, it continues throughout. But at a certain point, mom has to lean back.
For sure.
And then dad takes over and dad says, no, go out there and play. But baby, I don't get hurt. Let him go play. Let him ride the bike. He's going to be okay. He's going to get injured. Of course he is. That's the whole point of him riding the bike.
I don't want him to get back on a bike ever for the rest of his life. You think he should?
What are you talking about?
You said the bike.
Okay. You have this way of always making things that I say about you. I'm talking.
No,
in
it
terms
wasn't about
of
me. It was
example.
about Logie Bear.
I was talking about in general.
Oh yeah.
But ultimately, he's gonna get back on a bike one day. Whether it's motorized, whether it's He's going to become an adult one day. You have to understand that.
But babe, when I was little, my mom said never get on a motorcycle, and I to this day have never been on one.
That's Heather. Heather is not Logan. When Logan gets older and he makes a decision, like I'm grown now. I don't care what Clover tells me to do. My mom's name is Clover. If I want to get on a bike, I'm gonna get on a bike because I'm grown. I don't want to, but if I want to get on one, I can get on one.
Yeah.
But that's the part that I'm so glad you did that. That's the part where the henpecking becomes control.
It's not control. I just want my baby to live.
Because you don't call it control because you call it protection.
He's 12.
I'm talking about as he gets older.
Got you.
You call it protection. To a man, it is not protection. To a man, it is control. And anytime you place a man inside of a box, it rips a part of his autonomy. And a boy needs to get away from his mama long enough to prove that he doesn't need her. Because
that's what Logan's doing now.
He has to get away from this fact of being like, Mom, Mom, stop.
I'm totally chill now.
Mom.
Wow, I'm not chill.
Mom,
wait,
stop.
baby, I'm not. Hold on. That face is
the whole thing you just gave about the bike.
No, but I wouldn't say it to Logan. I'm saying it to you because we're married. I can talk like this crazy with you.
You said this to Logan, babe.
No, you asked Logan. You told Logan he's never getting on a bike again. You don't remember that?
I told Logan. So
that's control. And
it's completely different. It's completely different when it. I'm telling you. It is a double. I keep trying to tell you by design. Yeah. It is going to be different. When my voice carries a whole lot more weight in the house than yours.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
I didn't do anything to earn it. It is a very fact that I'm a man. You can scream all day, kids stop. Kids stop. Hey, y'all stop. Yeah, I could be in a completely different room and be like, yo, that's all I have to say. And everybody, the whole house stands still.
And I'll be like, what? I'm sitting here telling you. And you know what the kids do now as they get older? They've been negotiating with me. Like I tell them to do something and then they negotiate with me. And I'd be like, you know what? I should have been crazier when you were younger to make you listen.
But you didn't have to be because you had me.
Because you were the crazier one. Totally. But now it's funny. I was talking to Logan the other night and I was like, yo, where's my foam roller? I can't find it anywhere. You took it. And I'm on the phone with him. He's at his friend's house. We're trying to, I'm having FaceTime. I'm trying to find it. And we were going back and forth. And he's like, you know what, Mom? I don't want to argue with you. He's like, I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to fight with you. I was like, we're not fighting. I'm just looking for my foam roller. I was like, if you take my things, I just want you to be responsible and bring it back. And he's like, I know, I don't want to argue with you. When I come home tomorrow, I'm going to find it and I'll put it back in your room. And I was like, look at that, And then my daughter, before we left to come record this podcast, she walks out. She's got this afro and she's like, my hair, it looks horrible. You need to do my hair. And I was like, I have to go record the podcast. And I went to go say, like, I was going to make you a hair point, but she stomped off. And I was like, but then she does that with you too.
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't?
No.
No way.
I dare her the day for her to stomp off from me. No, she doesn't. She's never stomped away from me. She'll say, okay, daddy. And she'll walk away.
I don't understand. So I was like,
I just explained to you what it is. It is every bit of a double standard. But it is the way that it is designed. You are a nurturer.
I got to turn up.
No, you don't have to turn up because if you turn up, you're going to most likely push them away.
Yeah, you're right.
Because they're not accustomed to that.
They're not used to me.
They don't get turn up from you.
They don't.
They know that dad is the crazier one. They know that dad is not the one. Dad is not the one. I am not. Do not walk away from me. Do not walk away from me. I mean, I lit into Logan because he was like, "Oh, my shins are hurting and this and that," and I've now accepted a position as a coach on his football team. I do the conditioning as the coach. I looked at him and I said, "Your shins better feel better by in the morning because I'm gonna run you till you can't run anymore." I was like, "Don't you ever disrespect your mama." Now, ultimately, that didn't happen because I don't want to injure my son even more. So
yeah.
I just had him to do squats and do stuff like that while everybody else ran. I still had him to work out, him do some band work. But in the same way, it was like, I need for him to understand the seriousness of it. Because me just talking to him, I was literally in the bathtub with him standing over here and I'm talking to him. And then
butt naked going off.
I still wasn't finished. So I had to I was in the bed.
He was ruminating.
I was having a whole conversation with my wife. And in the middle of the conversation, I got out of the bed like, I'm not done yet. And I went in the room and I was like, what the heck? He was in the room and he was watching his phone and he's crying. Like he is crying.
I wanted to hug him during all this, and he told me I can't hug him.
Crying.
I wanted to so bad.
And I said, "What the heck is wrong with you? Like, what the heck? Like, did you lose your mind?" And he was like, "Dad, I honestly don't know." And then in that moment, I realized this is not just blatant rebellion, blatant disrespect. This is also psychological.
Yeah.
This is a lot to do with his brain as well. Like with the cortex, like with his brain, there's a lack of connection.
Yeah.
So we have to think in terms of like his mental development and the connectivity there inside of his brain. When he says, "I don't know," he really doesn't know. And I think as parents, because we're adults, we're like, "No, you need to have a reason." But his reasoning in that way hasn't kicked in yet. His thought is, he did it to me, I'm going to do it to him. And that makes sense. And that's okay, because your punishment
12,
is not enough.
Yeah.
So when he said that, that's when I said, I get it. I understand that. I had a lot of stupid stuff when I was your age. And I told him, I said, "Listen, I love you." I said, "I'm not upset with you. I'm not disappointed in you." I said, "But you can never do that again. Yeah. And I need you to understand something. I said, you will apologize to your mother. You will also apologize to your brother. And I said, if you ever get into a situation where you feel like you want to do that again," I said, "do it to me. Do it." I was like, "Please, I dare you. Do it to me." And he was like, "Dad, I'm not going to do that to you. He said, I would never do that to you." I was like, that same type of respect you have for me, give it to your mom. You could never do that. But the very fact
you're
that
right.
because of my influence,
Oh, yeah.
I was able to say, never to your mama. Now it's like, okay, now how much respect do he give you?
Oh, a ton. Like, so much respect. He's like, "I'm not arguing. I ain't fighting with you. Nothing, mama. I love you." He sent me this long paragraph. He's like, "I can't believe I did it. You are the nicest person to me in my life I've ever like experienced. Like, you are the nicest person."
I threw a water bottle in his head when he was 1 year old.
And I like sat there and cried. And he's like, "You're the nicest person to me." He's like, "I don't know why I would treat the nicest person to me in that way. Like, I don't even know what I was thinking. You never have to worry about it." And the next day at school, he texts me. He's like, "I cannot stop thinking about how I treated you. I am so sorry. Like, you never deserved that treatment from me." And it was so sweet, like, to see him pour out. And of course, I wanted to like hug him. But he told me I couldn't hug him. He's like, "He just needs to feel it for a second, babe. Like, chill."
Yeah, he needs to sit in it for a few minutes. He doesn't need to live there. He just needs to sit in it. And then afterwards, on the way to school, we had another on the way to school, we didn't have a conversation. Way back home, we had a conversation. We talked about it. And I was like, listen, not upset with you, not mad with you. I understand why you did it. It makes sense why you did it. And I explained to him, your reasoning is on point. His reasoning was, Roman hit me, I'm going to hit him back. And I can't argue with his level of reasoning. But then I have to offer another level of being like, well, I get that, but you're 12. You are double his age, and you are quadruple his size. You're bigger than your mom.
I know.
And then we kept saying that we really hate it for single moms specifically because Logan is bigger than my wife. And
stronger than me now.
And if he wanted to, there's the only thing that will stop him from going after you is a little bit of respect.
Well, he would never I don't think he'd ever.
I'm not saying. I'm talking general. You have this habit.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm making it about me. I'm sorry. He's making a generalization. I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby.
But for a lot of moms.
No, you're right.
Who when that little respect is not there, and when that teenage boy who still has the mind of a child but has the body of a grown man, when he gets upset, it's over. It's over. So whatever you have to do to provide that level of discipline, which I encourage you, for the single moms out there, I encourage you to get him into team sports, get him to play football, baseball, basketball, get him into team sport, get him underneath a coach that can also be stern with him, that can also teach him, that can also show him respect. They have junior ROTC. They have Army-based programs. If you go the military route, you need to get him in a situation where he can be around men who are going to instill a certain level of respect, discipline, courage, and all that stuff on the inside of him. And that's all I got.
No, I think that's good. And I appreciate that. I was like, dang, babe, that was so sexy. Like, that was amazing. Even though it made me a little sad for our baby. It was just like, but you're right. I mean, their whole life, it's just been like a soft place. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they need both. And it's tough when one person's not there. for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Community and a village is going to be really important.
Very good. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us. Make sure y'all tune back in next week. Talk about it Tuesday. We love y'all. Introduce it. We're out.